Paul George is currently having a career year and is just straight up hooping, man. My brother's out here playing like he's in contract year after just signing an extension. All right, my guy is currently making waves with explosive dunks, smooth moves, crossovers, lockdown D, and this year he's a much improved clutch player, locking in multiple games for his team with game winners and excellent fourth quarter play. Now, with this along with the Oklahoma City Thunder being third in the West, they have people wondering if PG-13 is a dark horse for MVP, and today we'll be analyzing whether he truly deserves it over Jokic, Harden, Greek Freak, and Kawhi. Now, before we get started, make sure you go down and click that subscribe button. Definitely, we got NBA uploads coming throughout the week, NBA analysis. If you love deep NBA analysis, definitely click the subscribe button. Now, let's get it. Paul George out of that MVP contender list, he's averaging the fourth most in points, the third most rebounds, fourth most in assists, fourth best free throw percentage, and the first in 3-point percentage. All right, now if we move into defense out of that five group that we said before with Jokic, Harden, Greek Freak, and Kawhi. Defense, he is leading the group in steals as well as being the best defensive player on the fourth best defensive team based on defensive rating currently as of the stats today. Paul George, he's currently doing it all, man. But how does he truly stack up if he's compared to the other MVP contenders? Now, Nikola Jokic, his claim for MVP will be based around his transformation on defense and his facilitating on offense, which leads his Nuggets to the number 2 spot in the West. Now, while no one really sees the Nuggets to be the Golden State Warriors killer, the MVP is a regular season award, and Nikola's, his name should definitely be mentioned. All right, while stat-wise, his numbers don't scream at you, if you watch, he is playing fundamentally sound basketball at a supremely high level. All right, Paul George has a case to be higher than Jokic because Russ was out for considerable time in the beginning, and PG's team is only one spot behind Denver, with PG putting up a more eye-appealing game to the casual viewer. Now with Kawhi, it is hard for Kawhi to beat anyone on this list, despite his team's success because of how little he's played. He's missed close to the same amount of games as LeBron James. LeBron James has a groin injury. His team hasn't struggled desperately when he doesn't play, even though we know Toronto will need him come playoff time, because they don't need him during the regular season, but trust me, the playoff is a different animal. All right, and that is a team that was clicking on all cylinders before he got there, and will be tough for him to win the vote, of casual fans as well as the media. All right, now Kawhi is seen as public enemy number 1 by a lot of media votes, who think that his game is too dull and that he hasn't done much this year despite putting up some career highs and leading a brand new team to the top 2 spots in the East. Now, Paul George, actually, he'll be able to beat out James Harden quite easily because we have seen James explode like this before and it not lead to really anything in the playoffs. While I do believe that James has put up excellent play offensively, that is Kobe-esque in just sheer volume, everyone knows that he has he just found a hack in the system, basically. An easy way to rack up points that just doesn't work in the postseason. Everyone basically has been figured out. All right, just because a guy is dropping 60 doesn't mean that, they're the best player ever. Many teams allow a guy to go off because they know he'll take a lot of shots to get there and they can neutralize his other teammates and basically give them dead legs from not being active participants. That's basically 5-on-1 basketball and it always loses. However, the media loves stories like this where one player carries a team and will definitely throw some votes his way. This is why in 2006, Kobe Bryant did not win MVP despite averaging 35 a game, because quite honestly, this didn't lead to wins in the postseason and didn't lead to that many wins in the regular season, even though they were plus 500. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo is probably the most solid lock for MVP that PG would have to dethrone. This is because Giannis has beaten PG in offensive stats and team positioning for the playoffs. PG would have to outshine Giannis on the defensive end, and when they do play, basically beat the Bucks in either humiliating fashion or a decisive one. All right. Now, the reason I made this video is because PG showed us in that matchup last night with the Bucks that he is the real deal and that this is no hot streak. All right. This is the real deal. All right. With Russell Westbrook giving up the ball more efficiently this year, this has allowed PG to start flourishing in that lineup, along with the departure of Carmelo Anthony. Because remember, this is a defensive team. And if you have a defensive hole, a weakness, it's going to be hard to get out on the break and get easy points. This has allowed Paul to get out on the break, after getting steals because the team defense has no weak links anymore on switches and all that kind of stuff. And he can go to work more on offense because the floor is spaced and Russ is giving him the ball. Look, PG could win MVP because of what he did to Giannis. While only being a regular season game, he basically showed us that his play style is more conducive to the team game and that he is more dangerous than Giannis is when one-on-one. All right, he worked out of the post, feeding teammates for easy scores, finishing tough Tough and ones. All right, no calls as well. Made the clutch shots and it's just been straight up balling, man. We're not gonna forget, we're not gonna forget that last night PG posterized that man Giannis, which honestly was gonna be the last play before I made this video. That was a statement dunk, not just for that game, but for the league. That yes, this is the real deal. But it was the next play, down in the fourth. With Milwaukee down by 3, this man PG had a double team going on, stayed calm, triple threat jabs, which becomes single coverage, faces up Malcolm Brogdon, and basically just goes KD on him and drops one between the eyes to put a dagger in the game. All right, that was why I lost. I say, I gotta make a video on this. I gotta stop disrespecting this man. All right, and basically, this man PG has the story to help him as well. Instead of joining the LeBron James bandwagon, he chose to stay in OKC and bet on himself, double down and bet on himself and Russell Westbrook to take on the world when everyone thought Westbrook was a nut job and that he can't be played with. All right, PG has taken on that challenge and produced, which is a healthy narrative for an MVP run. Look, man, I'm not saying that that he's guaranteed to be MVP, but dude is a lock for the conversation if he keeps this play up. All right, if it comes down to him and Giannis, people can always look back at this game and point to PG's strengths over Giannis' weaknesses. All right, he can do everything on the floor whenever needed and steps up in the big moments this year. That's the big difference. All right, he can drive, finish, assist, rebound, and defend like nobody's business. All right, and he spaces the floor, which is Giannis' main weakness, along with similar team success. Now, PG is definitely in the conversation. Anyone who says that it's ludicrous, they're just not watching NBA basketball. All right, never forget that PG led 2 Indiana teams to the Eastern Conference Finals, where he lost to LeBron in Game 7 and Game 6 both years. Both Indiana teams were defensively constructed teams similar to OKC, but they lacked a pairing superstar like Russell Westbrook. Now, definitely remember that PG also came back from basically a career-ending injury, and this would be something to really put a nice cap on the story. Now, as a slept-on rookie to NBA star, broke his leg, works back from rehab, goes to his team that nobody believes in, stays with that team when nobody says he's going to win there, doubles down and leads the team to the ultimate success. That would be the story of a lifetime right there. I'm telling you that right now. The media loves that kind of shit. If you like videos like this, definitely subscribe to the channel. And you already know to never be mad at me, but be mad at yourself for being an underachiever. Play the outro.